having a weird week. The other day I noticed if you watch all the Star Wars movies back to back in order and really pay close attention, you're a friggin' loser.
Jamie Lissow is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Jamie, do you live in Alaska?
I do.
Wow.
I live in Fairbanks, Alaska. Yeah.
Wait a minute. With your hot girlfriend?
So, Erica out there, that's my fiance. We live in Boise, Idaho together.
I'm saying hot chicks aren't going to Alaska.
She doesn't.
I know where hot chicks travel. I follow their migration.
Yeah.
I do. Like that guy, there's a guy who does that with, what's her name's air travel with
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift's air travel. He charts it.
I was wondering if you did something.
And
I saw you looking at her with those binoculars.
I follow hot chicks migration, and they never end up in Alaska.
They don't.
So you say you have a fiance. She's very attractive. She's sitting in the back. And it says here you live in Alaska, but she doesn't live in Alaska.
No, so I have a house in Alaska. It's a bit of an ex-wife situation. She's from there. My kids live up there, and so I have a house there where my kids have rooms. And when I get them, I go up there, and she does go with me sometimes. But we're in Boise.
I'm not saying hot chicks can't travel to Alaska. I'm saying 72 hours is the max before they have to head back out.
You're saying it's always a round trip ticket.
Yeah, there's no settling in Alaska.
Yeah, there's no putting stakes down. Yeah,
there's no putting stakes down. There's no hanging shingles.
Right.
And there's also, they're on the clock. They got 72 hours from the time they leave the Alaska airport to the time they're due back.
Yeah, even when she comes to my house, she keeps one foot out the door. Like,
oh, yeah. In Alaska?
Yeah, she tells the Uber to just wait.
Yeah, she's too good looking for Alaska.
Yeah, we just, Erica's a physician. She's a doctor, and she just started.
Really?
Yeah. And she does.
Wait, she's too good looking to be a doctor now.
I know, right? But she started doing telemedicine and traveling with me. And so our new thing, that's why I'm able to come, the road gets a little bit lonely, but it's been great. So she just flew in this morning. And she does like telemedicine in the hotel or wherever, and then I do shows at night.
People will contact her and show her lesions or things or discuss things or whatever, and then she'll prescribe things.
That's right. Can I ask you? I have a question. So she is attractive, right? And all of the time, I get insulted by people. Like they go, "You are very nice." You go, "Oh, you have an attractive fiance."
Where's she from? Canada?
She's from Boise.
Oh, okay. All right. She's not from Florida or California. Florida and California, hot chicks will learn early. I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I'm not going to med school.
Yes.
Fuck that.
No. Yeah, you're upset. But I've been getting a lot of and I want to know, I sometimes I wonder, like, am I a dick? Like, I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy, but every once in a while I get a little bit upset and I do something. And so last night, somebody who had seen Erica and me was saying hi after Comedy Magic, and they were very drunk. To be clear, they were actually kind of annoying, not being super nice. And they go, "Dude, saw your fiance, outkicked your coverage."
Yeah.
I go, "Okay, outkicked your." Kept kind of saying it. And his wife was drunk, and she was telling me my merch was stupid and whatever. And I looked at him, and I looked at his wife, and I go, "Looks like you got a safety."
Oh,
that's what I said. Oh. And I shouldn't have, right? Is that a dick? But I was really. Would you be offended? Should a guy be offended when someone says, "You outkicked your coverage," or is that an insult or is it a compliment?
I feel like as a guy, being hit on by gay guys is a compliment, even though it might upset certain guys, but it's a compliment.
Yep.
Outkicking your coverage, compliment.
Okay.
What's she doing with you? Compliment.
Okay.
And them, not while you're standing there, but while you're at the bar, them hitting on her is a compliment. It's all a compliment.
Agree.
Until she blows them in the bathroom.
That's right.
And that's when it becomes an insult.
She's compromised.
That's when you realize she's been compromised. All right. What do you got, Mayhem?
Oh, man. First up, Trump signs an executive order intended to bar transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports. Yeah, significant policy move. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order titled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports, aiming to prohibit transgender athletes from participating in girls' and women's sports.
Yeah, it's always funny when you argue with people who are against this. They go, "It's barely even a thing." And it's like, all right, well then so what? Then shut up. Now it's the law. So
right.
I'll I'll make your argument. It's not a big deal. All right, well, then it's not going to affect anybody. So good. We have to make this rule.
I wanted a rule. I was thinking it'd be simpler if we made a rule like, say, like that Leah Thomas situation, the swimmer. I was like, what if we just make a rule like you're not allowed to compete in women's swimming if when you win, you get a boner, like you're excited. And then, like if they hang a gold medal on your penis, perhaps you had an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember? Oh, sorry.
I was going the other way, which is you can compete as a man, but we got to add titty weight. You know what I mean? Sandbag it.
Yes.
Now you can get in the pool and have fun trying to beat the chick with 25 pounds of titty
You're right,
sand in there.
It's an aerodynamic advantage.
I'll see you in Davy Jones' locker, bro. She still got that locker down there at the bottom of the ocean?
I'm glad Trump's doing stuff, man. Do you remember Biden's first executive order? It was cream of wheat.
That's right. He ordered cream of wheat.
Like this with a side of juice.
And tapioca. Yeah.
Yeah, as the legal battle, there's going to be legal battles. Families with LGBTQ healthcare providers and advocacy groups contend that the administration's action have led to suspension of necessary medical treatments, causing immediate harm to transgender individuals.
I love that
across
they're
the country.
necessary.
Yeah.
Like a crazy person doesn't get their tits cut off in the next 20 minutes, there's going to be a big problem. Yeah. Okay, crazy person.
The worst is the MMA. Like watching someone that's identifying as a woman just beat someone up is one of the hardest things to watch.
I trained with a girl that went and fought a transgender and beat the hell out of this guy. It was pretty bad.
Oh, wait.
She won.
Trained a
I trained with a girl, Ashley, that fought Fallon Fox, that was a transgender MMA athlete that fought as a woman but was born a man. Yeah. So I mean, that's rare. Ashley is just such a beast of a fighter that she, took her down and pounded her out. But or him, whatever.
But I agree. It's like it's disgusting and it's hard to watch. And when I'm done masturbating, I immediately write a letter to my congressperson. So I'm with you, Jamie.
All right. Speaking of masturbating, OnlyFans model suing Tyreek Hill over a broken leg admits she had sex with him afterwards. Developing legal case, an OnlyFans model is suing NFL star Tyreek Hill, alleging that he was responsible for breaking her leg during an incident. What happened was they were running kind of football plays in the backyard.
Really?
She broke her leg.
After the sex?
No, before.
Before?
He gave her a piggyback ride up to the bedroom and gave her another kind of ride afterwards. And then she stayed the weekend and had some more sex. She's a big drink of water. It'd be hard to double-leg tackling her.
Yeah.
Is that weird? That's weird foreplay, right?
It definitely is.
That sounds weird.
I've been in that zone. A girl, as an MMA fighter, girls want to wrestle around and do some weird stuff beforehand.
Do you think the term OnlyFans model is thrown around pretty loosely, almost like porn star? Like you never go like, oh, I was a porn extra.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
OnlyFans star. I don't know when the subscriptions get you to star mode.
Yeah. But
she's suing for $50,000 of medical expenses and emotional distress.
So he was like running routes with her before.
She said, I read another article about it. She said that when they were doing football plays, he was in the zone. Like he was like there to do what he do, and just ended up breaking her leg. Yeah, she broke the leg. Then she stayed for the weekend, sleep with him, and now she's coming after him for $50,000.
Wow.
Hill's lawyers have claimed that Hall broke her leg tripping over a dog. So the he said, she said for sure.
I mean, the dog could have been in the middle of the route.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
As well.
That's true.
Dog could have been napping.
Yeah.
She's running a button hook or a flag or an up and out.
Yeah, dog could have been setting a screen or something.
He's up there yelling Omaha. So he put her in motion. Stomped his foot. She went in motion.
I find the whole thing so bizarre. I think that it's like I just can't imagine if you. This is like getting a prostitute. Were they dating or was it? Because I was just trying. Like, if you get a prostitute, usually you don't go, "Hey, before we start, let's go run some routes. Let's run some routes. Is that not weird?
I don't know. I think he was dating her, but now she wants 50 G's for that night.
Yeah, I hope the dog has 50 grand.
Jesus Christ, what has this world come to? I'm really disgusted with all of you. You should know that right now. I just OnlyFans and all this stuff. I feel so old because I'm just like, I don't know. Let's be honest. Can you guys be honest for a second?
I will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember when porn tapes would have like sex talk, 1-900 lines on the back. You could call up and have phone sex with somebody. And I was sort of like, I don't get phone sex with somebody. I get sex, and I get watching porn, but I don't get talking about sex. But as a kid, I never got comic books or baseball cards. Like I had friends that had piles of baseball cards, and I would go, well, let's go play baseball. They go, well, let's trade cards. I go, I don't want to look at pictures of guys holding a bat. I want to go swing a bat.
Right.
And I don't want to see Spider-Man jumping off the roof. Let's go jump off the roof into the swimming pool next door. Like I was very action-oriented, but never got the part where kids sat and read about action shit. And I felt, but then later on, when I became an adult, I just took that very consistently into phone sex, which is I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to do it or watch it.
Sure. I saw one clip when I was a kid. I remember watching, it had to be on like VH. It was some weird story where they showed a woman with an incredibly sexy voice that was like 300 pounds. And, and I remember like, that's what I always pictured when people go, oh, I'm calling the phone. I was like, you don't know who you're talking to. And for me, that would ruin, not that I'd be into it anyway, but that would like ruin any kind of imagination or what she looked
And now we're getting to that day of an AI girl talking to you through AI with the robot. So you're just cutting real women, all the way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you though, man. I never got I don't go to strip clubs, and I have never been a fan. I think I've been to a couple if it was like a bachelor party for the same kind of reason. Even if I was a single guy, if I would like to meet a girl and maybe potentially sleep with her at some point, I would like to talk to her and then meet her, and then maybe I don't get the whole.
Now
like the fake
Instagram is like the soft porn where it's like they get you reeled in, and then they have an OnlyFans click, and then suddenly you're in this parasocial relationship where, and maybe if you're a football player, you get to break a chick's leg.
Yeah.
Well, the only one who thinks this story's funny is the cop who pulled him over in front of the stadium 6 months ago. He's laughing. Because that guy makes $52,000 a year.
That's right.
Got suspended for 3 weeks. He's laughing his ass off right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Another story.
Here's another story. Human brain samples contain an entire spoon's worth of nanoplastic, this study says. Groundbreaking new study reveals that microplastics have been detected in human brains for the first time, raising concern about their long-term health impacts. Research analyzed tissue samples from the autopsies and found tiny plastic particles embedded in the brain's protective membranes.
Yeah.
Why this is dangerous, this polyethylene terephthalate found in water bottles and food containers, it's still unclear how much damage microplastics could cause.
All right. Plastic is bad. It's always been bad. And the only piece of any kind of... my mom was an old-time hippie whose batting average, she's about 0 for 700,000 in her global warming or ice age or sitting too close to the TV set or here's why we can't own a microwave oven. She was wrong. She's wrong about every thought she's ever had. But the plastic thing she was thinking about early.
That's big.
And I was kind of with her. And I've always been that way, but I've always been put off by plastic. And for instance, I subscribed to a water bottle service at my old house, and it came in a glass bottle. Like I didn't want a big plastic bottle. When I've been known to like bring a metal fork and a knife like with me to a place just so as not to use the spork and the plastic knife. I don't like cutting a steak with a fucking plastic knife. I'm not talking about going to a good restaurant, but some event. I hate when you get a beer in a plastic. I'm like, I love glass, and I tell people all the time, stop buying all your condiments in the plastic squeeze thing. Get glass. It's always better. It means the contents are better. Forget about the plastic part. It always just means a higher quality.
Yeah, a glass of wine or champagne in a plastic cup, worst thing ever.
Yeah, worst thing ever. Yeah. So I'm sure we all have this. I cannot prevent anyone from doing it, but every woman I've ever been with brings in cases of plastic bottles of water all the time that I pay for, and I go, don't do it. Just get a glass, use the water machine, use the filtered water. It's like, we need water, people need. And I'm like, we're just filling up landfills. This shit's sitting out on a truck. Sun's hitting it. It's fucked up. It's ugly American shit. Like, don't do it. Well, how are people going to? Just take a glass, go fill it up, go use what's in the glass.
Yeah, the American thing really is convenience over all else.
Yes.
Over, like, with plastic bottles. It's so much you're right. Like, it would be so much better. But damn it, I think I bought a plastic. But is this from drink? Are they talking about like when you heat up something in a Tupperware container, or is this just legitimately if I drink out of a bottle of water, I'm going to have these?
It's
plastics?
literally everywhere.
Yeah,
but if you leave the shit out in the sun and it gets hot, then it heat cycles a few times in your car, like floating around the passenger seat, and then you drink it. I mean, it's just, first off, if plastic is everywhere all the fucking time, how can it not be in our brain?
Right.
If it's ubiquitous, if there's plastic bottles everywhere, plastic utensils, plastic cups, plastic plates, plastic to go, if everything is just 100% plastic and everything it's in a ketchup, mustard, it's all in plastic. Well, then wouldn't you be surprised we didn't have a bunch of plastic in our head?
Yeah, that would be weird.
And let's just say, okay, let's just say this. Forget about plastic. Let's just say everything comes in a mahogany container. Okay. All water, relish, ketchup. When you go get Chinese takeout, you bring it home in a mahogany container, and then 20 years later, somebody goes, "We found some mahogany, some red levels." And like I'd go, "Well, of course you did. That's all we have."
My dry clean is a mahogany.
Yeah, like that's all. Why wouldn't we have traces of mahogany in our brain if every single thing we touched came in a mahogany container?
I guess the question is, should we be scared? What can this
the
plastic
researchers
do to me?
are kind of saying that the damage microplastic could cause, they trigger inflammation and interfere with brain function and potentially contribute to neurological conditions like dementia.
But see, I'm almost done with my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids who do nothing but fucking smoke pot and out of a plastic bong. Yeah, you guys are fucked.
It's a double whammy.
You guys are semi-retarded already, and now this, and a whole life. By the way, the first 30, 40 years of my life, I grew up just drinking from the fucking sink with my head.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even use a cup.
You ever do a hose? I drank out of a hose.
I did a hose.
Yeah.
I would do a hose. I would do the head under the sink.
Yes.
You know, I didn't even forget about a plastic cup. I'd have a gourd to drink out of. I put my head in the sink.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any bottled water, any plastic. There was no sports containers, with squeeze containers. There was nothing.
Right.
It was nothing.
I'm switching to mahogany.
Yeah, go to
across the board. Across the board.
It's a good movie too.
I wonder who will solve this: Elon Musk or AOC.
AOC's
AOC definitely with the garbage
What?
disposal.
Have you guys heard of a garbage disposal? Jesus fucking Christ! I mean, that's borderline retarded, right? I'm not. Here's all I know. I grew up in the poorhouse, in a house that had no clothes dryer and no washing machine, no dishwasher, and no air conditioning, and I grew up pioneer style. We had a garbage disposal, and that was put in that house in 1955. That's all we had, but that's what we had. So the fact that in 2019 she doesn't know what a fucking garbage disposal is means I'll play the game stupid or liar.
Yeah.
She's either lying
Yep.
or stupid. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, Ford expects to rack up EV losses of $5.5 billion in 2025, sending shares skidding. Yeah, the motor company has announced that it anticipates losses up to $5.5 billion in its electric vehicle and software operations for 2025, mirroring similar losses from 2024.
These guys are in such a weird position because, and I've had dinner with the guys who run Ford and Farley who runs Ford and stuff. Good dude, vintage racer, blah blah blah. You know, they'll go like, they're fucking breaking our backs. The Green Coalition and the AOC shit and the Biden shit, and they're fucking destroying our company.
Yeah.
But we can't talk shit about them because we need them they need to play nice with them. Those guys they don't say anything like during the election. They're so fucking happy that idiot is gone and Trump is there. All these guys. Because they're getting killed with all these mandates.
Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't have just kept Ford like the Mustangs and they just go gas and somebody else does. It's too bad that they're being forced to go into a direction that they probably never wanted to, probably had no interest in. I don't know, maybe they did, but
no, I mean they make a hell of a, diesel dually truck, you know. I have one. They're just getting forced into doing something they don't want to do by the government, and it's fucking destroying them. So hopefully that'll change now, but they took a big hit.
Yeah, the company cites persistent quality issues and potential increased costs due to proposed tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada as contributing factors to this outlook. Pre-tax income between $7 billion and $8.5 billion in 2025, a decrease from $10.2 billion in 2024.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll overcome and they'll be back. And the thing about electric cars is electric cars are fine, but when we go back and look at this history, when the history books are written, they will have shown that the electric car came out 10 years before the infrastructure to support electric car came out, and that the only one who kind of supported it and did it right was the dumb dude with Tesla and Elon, because you can have a Tesla and make it from here to Vegas and stop and recharge in Baker or whatever. All the other electric cars don't have the infrastructure to support it, and that's the government. And the government was going to build with the Green New Deal 70,000 new jobs. They haven't built any
that's what
since they got the money 4 years ago. So the government, they're good at the decrees. They're just not good at the execution of the decrees. And that's why I like the private industry to work on these problems. And what the government is doing is they're essentially, it's like California. Gavin Newsom's talking about outlawing internal combustion engines by like 2030. He doesn't have the electric infrastructure to not get rolling brownouts during the summer when it gets over 90 degrees, and he's telling people to do their laundry at 4 a.m. during like non-peak hours. So you can't even support what you have right now, and you're making these decrees.
Yeah. I rented a car the other day from somewhere, and they just gave it to me, and I drove away, and I didn't realize until I left that it was an electric car. I didn't plan for it, and I was going to do a gig that was like 300 miles. I was like driving around to a casino, and that I look at the range and I go, I'm not gonna. I was just like, I'll just get gas when I run out, and it really struck me that like that is a tough. Like when you need gas, you just go get gas. It takes like 5 minutes. When you need, even if you have a supercharger, sometimes it's full, takes 20 to 40 minutes. It's just such a different experience. And as I was running out of energy, I thought to myself, what happens if you run out of, does someone bring you a can of energy? Like, what do you do if you run out on the highway? Because I had trouble. I had an app and I went to one and it was shut down. I had like 1 or 2 miles left when I found my energy thing. But like, what do you do?
I think you go to the front of the car and you go like this. You crank it like a 1920 Model T.
But I didn't know what to do because I was like, that's an interesting, like, I don't know if a truck comes and brings you
range anxiety.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was behind a car that was wrapped for some EV something solutions or something the other day, and I was thinking, do these guys bring you power, or do these guys set up chargers at home and I didn't know what the company did. It was like electric car caddy or something. And I don't know. You can look, Byron, but is there a service
like a AAA or something?
No, there
like,
is. I've looked into this. Where they run the power from your house into the equipment for home charging.
Hold on a second. Let me handle this. No shit, Sherlock. I'm saying, is there a service? Yes, understood that part. I've installed 3. Is there a service that comes out to stall Jamie on the way to the casino
I see.
with the van that has the stack of batteries in it and gives you the 20-mile quick zap?
That's what I want to know.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wanting. Now,
Is there a fix-a-flat for energy?
yes, they have services. It's kind of cool. There are gasoline services where they'll like come to your house and fill your car up and probably charge you $9 a gallon. But hey, if you're a rich guy, you never go to a gas station ever again. Like every Monday, that guy just comes to your home, like your gardener. You know, hey, if you're a rich guy, for sure.
Sure.
Yes, if your electric vehicle stalls, most roadside assistance services can provide a small charge to get you to a nearby charging station, though they may not be able to fully charge your car on the spot. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. In some cases, they might need to tow your vehicle to a charging station. So would AAA come by with their truck and charge you? Because if so, it would be a different truck than a normal tow truck. I would assume
It's not a battery cable type deal.
And when you plug that car into 110 into household current, and you go inside and you have a 5-hour meal and you come back out and you have 4 miles on that thing. I mean, that is a trickle charger. AAA offers mobile EV charging and charging stations at some branch offices to members at no extra cost. But so they do mobile charging, so they can come. I wonder. It's got to be minimum though. It's not like they're going to give you 50 miles worth. They're going to give you a small amount, but they'll have some sort of app where you could find the closest charger that's whatever.
I think they get you to where you could buy a car that runs on gas.
They bring you to
a dealership.
or your place selling used Escalades.
Correct your mistake.
All right, what else we got there, man?
We already covered the Kamala Harris interview.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the actual that 179 stumbling answer was shortened in the final cut to just 20 words.
Oh.
I thought you might think that's interesting.
Oh, maybe we have that. You're talking about the one about the Middle East and Israel and Palestine or whatever. Yeah, maybe we can find that clip. But yeah, what they did is they cleaned it up, which is not really why you sit down to let America know who you are.
It's not the show 2 minutes. It's 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
It's supposed to be a comprehensive interview.
You wonder if the person doing the interviews kind of miffed that they end up looking like a softballer because they cut out all the tough parts of the question. Kamala Harris is not a bright person, and there's also something weird and wrong with her.
Yeah.
And, like the whole part where and also it's not her fault. It's the media's fault. Like somebody should have said, look, let's just put this to rest right now. You said multiple times you worked at McDonald's. Donald Trump says you never worked at McDonald's, and so does everyone on the right. So let's just set the record straight. Tell us which McDonald's. Tell us what the location is. Tell us what you did there. And tell us what your manager's name was. Because this guy worked at the Studio City McDonald's in 1979, probably June 1980. Got the job there. Manager named Ken. Heavyset man of color, sweeping a mop of the dining area. Worked the griddle, know the lingo. Burgers up, wrap, please. Cheese count on max, please. Cheese 3, please. Thank you. I know the rap.
That's right.
Because I worked there.
I worked
and
there.
I know where it is, and you can go find it, and it'll be documented, and then you can find some record of me working there, and go find Ken. He's probably still alive.
I worked at Arby's on West Ridge Road. Tom Keene was my manager. He was a bodybuilder. I would work the back line. You want a super with extra sauce? I could run the drive-through. You can find these people. I was there, West Ridge Road.
I
You're
worked
right.
I worked at Subway. My manager's name was Jim. I worked at the Cross Creek Mall. I know how to make a U-gouge. I'm a sandwich artist. Would you like salt and pepper, oil and vinegar?
Right. So every fast food place has its own language.
Yeah.
And like, again, they teach you because you can't, I couldn't be making Big Macs and go, hey, what's your douche? How many of the cheese with the thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? I would have to go, cheese count on Max, please. And then they would go, cheese 3, please. And I'd go, thank you. And then I'd go, burgers up, wrap, please. You know, because there's customers and you couldn't be yelling stupid stuff. And so that shit gets burned in, and you know what it is. And you know your manager's name, and you know the location, and you know what your job was. So some journalist could have said, let's do it. And now, and by the way, I'm not just going to ask you if you worked at McDonald's, and you're going to go, yeah. I'm going to say where, when, what'd you get an hour, who was your manager, and how can we document this?
Yep. As you're like a super at Arby's, 3 ounces of roast beef, lettuce, tomato, and Arby's sauce. Super's up. You're right. Like there's a lingo you can easily. I also think it's strange that Kamala and Biden, when they lie, if you're gonna lie, go for it. Like the things that they lie about. Hey, my uncle was eaten by cannibals. I worked at McDonald's. If we're just making shit up, say you worked at NASA.
I
Pick
used to
something
lie
better.
about not working at McDonald's, especially on dates. You know, what, are you kidding? You think I'm poor?
Well, just so you know,
Why
that
do your cuticles smell like onions, Adam? Oh, that's
That is a weird lie.
the 60 Minutes is under scrutiny by the FCC for election interference because of this.
Well, we'll play the clip real fast. Sheriff Wayne is waiting for us on Zoom, but we'll play this clip. I believe we have, and that we'll play.
The events of the past few weeks have pushed us to the brink, if not into, an all-out regional war in the Middle East. What can the U.S. do at this point to stop this from spinning out of control?
Well, let's start with October 7, because obviously what we do now must be in the context of what has happened. And as I reflect on a year ago, and that 1,200 people were massacred, young people at a festival, at a music festival. 250 hostages were taken, including Americans. Women were brutally raped. And as I said then, I maintain Israel has a right to defend itself, we would, and how it does so matters. And as we fast forward into what we have seen in the ensuing weeks and months, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we know that, and I think most agree, this war has to end. And that has to be our number one imperative. And that has been our number one imperative. How can we get this war to end? Well, critical elements of that are we have got to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. We have to get aid in. We have to lay the path toward a two-state solution. I do believe that we must maintain that as an objective, no matter how out of reach it seems at the moment. And the work that we have to do is also pay attention to what is happening every day in the region and put U.S. resources into everything we can do diplomatically and otherwise to de-escalate what is happening in the region.
Hey, that's a long time to do the feigning interest look on your face.
He was struggling hard at the
He's
end.
like, face, don't fail me now. Come on, face.
He was working. Every
face.
muscle in his face was
Eyes
working.
don't roll. Do not roll eyes. Come on, eyes. Stick with me.
Don't laugh.
Stick with the feign interest.
I need
face.
this job.
Eyes.
I need this job.
Come on. Do not do the roll. She's wrapping it up.
Interested?
now.
Nod.
Now that's the one that they cut up,
Yes.
and that was her real answer, where she seemed like a word salad dingbat. All right, and then we have to have an A and a B, right? All right,
There we go.
this is the other one. Yeah, this is the one. This is how it came across. And sorry, volume.
We supply Israel with billions of dollars in military aid. And yet Prime Minister Netanyahu seems to be charting his own course. The Biden-Harris administration has pressed him to agree to a ceasefire. He's resisted. You urged him not to go into Lebanon. He went in anyway. He has promised to make Iran pay for the missile attack, and that has the potential of expanding the war. Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The aid that we have given Israel allowed Israel to defend itself against 200 ballistic missiles that were just meant to attack the Israelis and the people of Israel. And when we think about the threat that Hamas, Hezbollah presents, Iran, I think that it is without any question our imperative to do what we can to allow Israel to defend itself against those kinds of attacks. Now, the work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles, which include the need for humanitarian aid, the need for this war to end, the need for a deal to be done, which would release the hostages and create a ceasefire. And we're not going to stop in terms of putting that pressure on Israel and in the region, including Arab leaders.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done.
All right,
has
this isn't the A
resulted
and the B.
in
This
the
is just to run on whatever. But this was edited up. We were going to do a A and a B, but I guess we didn't have the A or the B, or we had two Bs. Either way, she's a talker, but she doesn't say anything.
I have an unsubstantiated accusation. Like I have no way to, but it almost seems like if you say our A to B just without the words that they said, it almost seems like they sped her up 5%.
Yeah.
In the B that you played, she was talking. It felt like she was talking a little bit. Which would be very easy.
Yeah.
Video editing would be super easy to make it like a tiny bit faster.
Whatever it is, whether it's an umpire at a baseball game, we just don't want to make the umpire making it easier for the pitcher or the batter, just balls and strikes. That's what 60 Minutes should be doing. All right. We'll take a break. Sheriff Wayne Ivey, very interesting guys coming up. Jamie Lissow has got a podcast, Afraid to Ask, is available where you find finer podcasts.
That's right.
Right, as well. Also, live shows coming up. Oxnard Levity Live. Good. That's this Saturday. Good venue. Second show's got a couple tickets left. Scottsdale Performing Arts Center coming up now. First show sold out. They added a second. And where do we go to find? We go to for upcoming dates.
Upcoming dates, you can go to jamielissow.com, or I also bought robschneidersfriend.com and Greg Gutfeld's friend.com, if you forget my name.
Smart.